Hey, hey. So this week, I thought we'd start by touching upon the directorial, not prowess, but catalog, I guess, of someone who passed away recently, whose name I'm trying to find. Morgan Spurlock.
Morgan Spurlock. This is how you wanted to start? Holy shit.
Well,
Ricky.
this is how I wanted to start before he passed away, right? Because I'd been seeing a lot of discourse just about, not discourse. I've been seeing a lot of Twitter posts and stuff about the Super Size Me movie, Where in the World is Osama bin Laden, the fact that he apparently ousted himself on his own blog as just, like, a horrible, hateful person, and then, like, seemed to have some form of revelation by the end of it where he was like, man, maybe this is why, like, my life fucking sucks. Everyone's like, yeah, kind of, dude. So yeah.
Go on. I mean, you're the one. I mean, you brought this up, is what I'll say.
I mean, first of all, rest in peace, Morgan Spurlock. But also, you have invariably damaged an entire generation and their relationship with food and their relationship with documentaries and how trustworthy a documentary can be by drinking consistently while creating a documentary about how fast food is bad. Like, bro, you're an alcoholic who just ate 5,000 calories in a day. Yeah, you're going to throw up. And he went to the doctors and they were like, oh man, your liver's failing. Like, you're a heavy drinker. And he was like, must be the Big Macs. Like, oh.
It is crazy. Yeah. I remember when he, again, like, did an unprecedented move and Me Too'd himself, which, I mean, like, good on him, you know. Although I feel cynically about that because it's pretty clear that he totally just was trying to get out in front of whatever allegations were coming, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, the fact that he kind of admitted all of that and then, to my knowledge, never denounced or addressed that kind of glaring inconsistency with Super Size Me. Now, I'm not plugged in, so maybe he's made a comment or kind of like made a statement about Super Size Me specifically, but like we were talking about in the group chat, like that they show that movie in schools. I don't know if they still do. I wouldn't be surprised if they still did up until very recently, but yeah, like you're saying, it's just, I mean, incredibly evil stuff in that movie, and the fact that it's taken as gospel and was used to teach, again, incredibly fat-phobic things to little kids is gross. I watched that movie multiple times in school. Now I went to clown school, but, like, you know,
not the clown school part.
So it's nuts that they.
It took a couple years, but I had to drop out.
And clown school dropout is a.
Hey, all right.
Tough.
Listen, they're tough shoes to fill, okay? Size 17
it's
and
rigorous,
a half.
Yeah. Big shoes,
big shoes.
Well, you listed off a bunch of his other stuff in his filmography, but you neglected to mention the One Direction.
You're right. My bad.
The concert film.
Glaring.
Of course. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Very strange choice for that one. Not sure how he got that gig.
Yeah, so I don't actually know anything about his filmography really at all. I don't really know much about this guy at all, except for Super Size Me, and then I heard about him canceling himself on his blog. Didn't know how far that went. But he seems like just a bad guy, right? Like, I don't know. Sort of like Michael Mann, but maybe shittier, if possible.
Michael Mann?
Oh, who am I thinking of?
You're definitely confusing.
The 9/11 documentary guy?
Michael Moore. Jesus Christ.
There's more of these guys
Michael
everywhere.
Mann, the famous documentary. Michael Mann did Heat. Michael Mann did one of your favorite fucking movies.
I know. Yeah.
The shooting guys in Heat.
Man, oh man, there's more and more of these mics everywhere. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't know a ton about him, but it was just odd that, like, I wanted to talk about him already, and then the news of his passing broke, and I was like, sheesh, wow. I've got to sort of hold back a bit, I guess, but
yeah, nope. I mean, fuck that guy. Like, he sucked. Like, I have no bones about it. Like I said, he never seemed to releasing your own notes app statement in, like, a calculated PR move to try to absolve yourself ahead of time, and get in front of whatever allegations were about to break. Get trash. Bye. Goodbye.
Fair,
I don't care.
Fair. He kind of invented
he won't
the
be
Notes
missed
app
by me.
like declaration, right?
No.
Okay.
Notes app apologies have been around since early
the
Twitter.
Notes app,
I mean,
right?
those have been...
Like,
yeah. Well, yeah. since celebrities put their feet in their mouth, their foot in their mouths,
little footsies in their mouth, just
yeah. Not footsies. But yeah, I mean, I have never like deep dove into his filmography before. I'm looking through his Wikipedia page now, which I'm sure has been like the site of vandalism over the last like 24 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not great. It's not a great look. He's on the Freakonomics documentary, another shit.
Oh shit,
story.
Freakonomics. I can't do the Peter Griffin voice, but imagine I had said it like that.
Oh my god.
Oh sweet, Freakonomics. I can't do it.
Don't worry, I'll cut that both times. Apparently
Great.
he was a PA on Leon the Professional. So
interesting.
I'm sure he learned some great things there. Yeah, anyway, he did a Brony movie. Anyway, this is We Want to Watch. My name's Lane.
This is We Want to Watch. My name's Ricky. I don't think we want to watch either of those movies.
No, we are never going to watch a fucking Morgan Spurlock documentary or movie. Or
okay, great. Okay.
Anything, yeah.
Anything that he's in.
Anything that he was in, anything based on his stuff, it's not happening.
Anything they put him into the future retroactively with weird CGI, AI, synthesis, not happening.
Pulling out my giant shepherd's hook to pull you off the stage.
I'm like fitting in as many buzzwords as possible. You're like, get out of here.
Introduce this week's Rick's pick.
This week's Rick's pick was Amadeus, a 1984 movie.
Yes.
Nice, a movie directed in 1984. I didn't get the director's name, but
Miloš Forman, who did
Miloš Forman.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's a movie you might have heard of. He's done other stuff. He did Hair. He did an adaptation of Dangerous Liaisons. Man on the Moon, the Jim Carrey movie, where he plays Andy Kaufman. No.
No. I had heard of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but I haven't actually watched it. So
I'm not surprised.
Wow.
Why'd you pick this
Seems
movie?
right up my alley. So I saw
because this movie seemed right up your alley. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this movie did kind of seem right up my alley. I saw the poster for it and I was like, oh shit, that's sick. And then like I saw a couple of like little like 1-minute clips or whatever. And I was like, all right, wow, I kind of got to give it a try, right? And luckily it was stuff that happened like pretty early in the film too. Like Mozart like riffing off of Salieri's like original court march or whatever that he made.
Yeah.
So like really cool scene and a really cool introduction to the series overall. IMO.
The series. You mean the movie?
The show, the movie. Yeah. I don't know. It's a 3-hour movie. This was like an epic, honestly.
I told you last week when you were like, I want to watch Amadeus. It's like, cool, but do you know that this movie is long as hell? Although it is not. It does not feel 3 hours long. Like it flies by. It's a good watch.
I had to pause to like go to the bathroom and like get food in the middle of it, and I was like, "Holy shit! It's been like an hour or like whatever it was already." I was like, "What the fuck?" I feel like it's been like 5 minutes.
It's a great,
and the whole movie felt like that. It's so like, I mean, I guess upbeat is the way to call it. Like the tempo for it, the pacing, it just like keeps you wrapped up in it the entire time.
Oh yeah, this thing moves. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I really like movies like that, you know, that like draw you in. Uncut Gems, like another one. I know I like to draw sort of.
We can't talk about Uncut
parallels
Gems.
to it.
We can't do it.
But the tempo for it, the way that it draws you in, you know, like this whole movie, I was like, oh man. I will say the one thing this movie does exceedingly well, and it's the part that like, is really the most like alluring of it, is how Salieri's like deep, rich, emotional like. Context with Mozart, I guess, because like so much is happening that Salieri knows and Mozart doesn't, and like he's like torturing himself, he's ripping himself apart, and the entire time Mozart's just like like through life. It's so cool to see. It's so great, especially like hearing it from the like guy himself as he's dying, it's like, oh, Sonny, yay! Oh my god, it's so cool.
Yeah. No, I mean this movie I think completely created an archetype of like your cunning rival. I don't think created the archetype, but people definitely use Salieri as like a named archetype now, and I think it's because of this movie, not because of the play it's based on or anything like that. Because I think
right. No, God, no.
it does speak to such a specific type of like rival, like almost like an Iago, if you've ever read or seen Othello, the Shakespeare play, like kind of like a your close friend who's secretly backstabbing you, but this adds so much context, like you're saying, to like he doesn't hate him necessarily, he like hates the guy but loves his output, and he's like jealous but also vengeful against God. Like there's all of those kinds of like like deep fateful like feelings and hatred there that do make it so much more interesting than just like he secretly hates him.
Oh yeah, and it's rare that you find someone who is both jealous and envious, right? Because he's envious of Mozart's talent, but he's also jealous that Mozart might steal his position away because of his talents, right? So it's like it's a funny little duality there. And he like you said, like he can't hate the guy like time and time again. I mean, like he does. I mean, he scorns him and like he sort of mocks him for being like a philanderous,
Lewd.
Engaging in debauchery. Yeah. But he does the same things. Like, he does the very same things on the exact, like,
it is
the
funny.
turn of the heel. And it's like, all right, like, yeah. And he even gets mad at him at Mozart for taking, like, one of his, I don't want to say girlfriends, his musicians.
Yeah, or
his muse, yeah. I mean, they definitely had, like, an intimate relationship, and then, like, he was like, and then that little gremlin put his hands on her.
No, he's saying that they didn't have a... No, his whole thing, so that's
yeah.
He's like, I've took a vow of chastity, which is, again, like, he paints himself... Yeah. Well, and that's part of what's so interesting and rich about this character. He paints himself as if he is, just, like, a paragon of virtue in the beginning, like, when he's talking to the priest, when he's kind of confessing... He paints himself, he never laid his hands on women, and he was a paragon of virtue. And then you see, obviously, not only is he like deeply fucked in the head about Mozart, but he's not those things. He is like indulgent. He does, like he's sniveling. He's all of the like worst things you can be. And yeah, he obviously is like lustful and conniving in those ways. So it no wonder you're not God's favorite. You're not honest about it. Like Mozart's honest.
Yeah, but that's true, but it's also so funny to see him like praying to God on Mozart's downfall. Like this guy is a #1 hater.
Yeah, relatable.
There was one scene, honestly, there's one scene where he was like he's praying and it's shot so well because he's like sitting at his piano. And he's kneeling at his piano.
Oh yeah, he's like, please let please let Mozart's wife come and knock on my door and show her titties. Yeah. Like, please. Yeah. And then immediately after did you notice immediately after that, like he kicks her out, and then he like throws the crucifix in the fire. He's like, all right.
I thought he was just praying on like any bit of God's like benediction, right?
Oh, for
like,
then immediately she knocks on the door.
Yeah, and then she does knock on the door, and it is funny like the juxtaposition there. But I mean I definitely took it as him just being like completely desperate, and he was like, you know what, like whether
totally.
or not she comes, like I need like, something, like anything, yeah. And then like God's sign was like, well, you're not my chosen. Like here's a messenger telling you that.
Yeah.
Just really funny, yeah.
So, real quick, before we get into this movie,
okay,
I want to talk about, you said you watched a couple of, like, 1-minute clips of this, like, before you, whatever. Do you worry about spoiling movies for yourself? Like, not even, like, the plot spoilers, but, like, does it bother you to, like, watch clips of movies before you watch watch the actual movie, or like trailers? Like people sometimes think like, oh, they give everything away in the trailer, like etc.
Yeah, I mean, I guess trailers can kind of be pretty bad about that. Like I've seen some trailers that have definitely like soured my movie going experience. But I feel like a lot of the clips that I watch, especially if I'm watching like a clip that somebody has picked, it generally is like I generally hope that most people aren't putting out something too spoiler specific. But like taking Breaking Bad for example, something that I finished pretty recently.
You finished it?
There's like I did finish it. Yeah. Really good, really good stuff. Also, Jesse Plemons is fucking unhinged. That guy. Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway,
I can't imagine seeing him in Breaking Bad first and being like, I'm gonna follow this fucking guy's career. Anyway.
Okay, we can't.
Although,
we can't
actually, I can see that because that was sick.
He's the biggest. I think he's the biggest star to come out of that show. Am I crazy for thinking that? There were people who were in that show that were bigger than that show when they started, like Giancarlo Esposito. But I mean, like other. Yeah, I think he's the big breakout from that secretly.
So
like what's Aaron Paul doing? Like nothing.
So I think Esposito or Giancarlo Esposito. I think his problem is that he got like
typecast real bad. Like fucking crazy.
But
he was in other shit.
Pushed into a niche.
He used to be. He was in like The Wire. He was in like real good like acclaimed shit before that show, and now everybody knows him as whatever Gus. Yeah,
right.
The Chicken King. Yeah,
he is Gus Fring, and like I mean, even he's casting like a Marvel thing now, and people were like, oh, like I wonder if he's going to play the like soft-spoken villain who uses something other than violence to achieve his means, right? Yeah. So like he's typecasted to shit. Bryan Cranston was really big in my opinion. But I feel like Breaking Bad was maybe the biggest thing that he's done.
He was absolutely not anything at all before Breaking Bad.
Really?
Like other than Malcolm in the Middle.
He was in Malcolm in the Middle.
Right, but he wasn't. He didn't have like a major movie star career. And then they tried after Breaking Bad, and they were like, "Ooh, he was in a." Anyway, I don't want to shit all over. He seems perfectly nice, is what I'll say. But I don't think he's had an interesting career after Breaking Bad. Neither has Aaron Paul. Yeah, I mean, no one else. I don't even know, and this is terrible. I don't even know the name of the actress who plays Skylar. I mean,
I don't know Skylar or Marie or Hank.
I can't remember his name. He has had more of a bit of a career. He's still playing like side guys. He's been playing like side characters and stuff for a long time, but he seems to have a great career making cameos of like online, like. In characters
like actual
you like anime
like
yeah. anyway
oh wait I've seen I think the specific video you're talking about anyway
he's made a few of them but
anyway back to
plot being ruined for
why did I bring up Breaking Bad? So Breaking Bad there were a few scenes that were like distinctly spoiled for me which were like really pivotal scenes which I'm not going to recount for any viewers, just in case you haven't watched the 15-20-year-old show Breaking Bad. If you haven't, go watch it. It's great. But it didn't really ruin the viewing experience for me, right? Like, I had seen the very last scene of the show before going into it. Like, the context for it is everything, right? So, like, it's not like, no matter what I watch out of context, like, I might be able to watch a movie and then be like, oh, okay, like, recognize things more, maybe recognize some foreshadowing of, like, that specific event, or, like, be able to recognize characters, but I'm not going to be, like, flabbergasted that, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't really take away the impact of that scene.
Agreed.
Now, I could say that there, like, are specific scenes you could do that with certain movies where it's, like,
oh, totally. Yeah,
it completely changes like the tone of the whole movie if you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I guess I feel like the number of movies like that are kind of few and far between. Like there aren't that many really pivotal,
and they're pretty
like,
well
twists
known.
or
like,
right. Yeah. I guess I'm if someone tells me there's a cool scene in a movie or like a really this is maybe I'm an edgelord for this, but like a really fucked up like horror scene or something, or like. And it's like, I might not ever watch this movie, but if I do, I'm not really worried about being spoiled for this one thing. Like, I will totally look that up on YouTube or, like, read about it or whatever. Because I feel like,
especially for horror films, because there are some, like, bad horror movies out there, but it's like, sometimes they have, like, one pretty cool scene, you know? That's
totally.
Just got, like,
100%.
It's like, okay, well, I gotta check that out.
Yeah. But, okay. Anyway. So... Did you watch the full 3-hour director's cut of this movie, of Amadeus?
It was 3 hours. It was the one on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Apparently, there's a version of this that's 20-ish minutes shorter. That's like the theatrical version. I don't know why you would do that.
What notes would you remove?
All right, I'm ending the podcast.
All right,
this is our final
episode. This was a good
one. Yeah. But no, I think probably the opera scenes are probably a little shorter, so there's not so much of those shown. But again, it moves so quickly, and like I feel like those scenes are so important to putting you in either of the two leads, mindset, and just setting the scene in general. Yeah, headspace. Yeah, whatever you want to say. Psychology. So yeah, I can't imagine cutting any of those out.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I think like Mozart says, it's just too many notes for who's the head guy? Herr Kommandant?
Well, the king, right? Or not the king, but the emperor, I think he is. In Vienna, yeah. And Salieri says that, not Mozart. But
what?
That it's too many notes.
Yeah. But Mozart was the one who said, "Well, which ones would you remove?"
Yeah. Great
really
comeback. Yeah.
I love Mozart. He's so funny, dude.
I knew you would. God. When you picked this, I was like, as I was thinking about it after we hung up last week, I was like, "Oh, Ricky's gonna fuck with this movie like crazy." Like Ricky's gonna love this movie. Yeah. Maybe the best intro to a character in any movie. Like maybe the best introductory scene, like setting the scene of like taking away all your expectations and subverting them. And but he walks such a fine line in that scene of like disgusting, like obscene, whatever, immature, like gross, and then also kind of charming and, likable and scoundrelly, but clever.
He plays the scoundrel really well, and especially like the scoundrel who knows when it's time to like leave, right? Because he was like, oh shit, that's my music. They've started without me. And he starts to like run off. I did want to mention before we get like into the movie.
We've been recording for like 20 minutes already.
Yeah, but we bullshitted a bit, and like we've talked about it a little bit. The movie poster that I saw, right, which is
the one with the black with the
mask,
the dead commander, his dad,
right. Well, Prospero, what was his dad's name?
I don't think his dad's name was Prospero.
But anyway, it's such a like seeing that in the film after seeing it like on a movie poster and being like, oh shit, like I want to watch this because of that. It's like Leopold, that's what it was. Yeah. It's shocking, honestly. Like when
he's first shown in it, when he's like standing at the top of the staircase, he looks like death. Like he looks fucking horrifying. Truly.
And then like Salieri tells us like, oh, like this is death incarnate. This is his father brought back to life to incriminate him. And I was like, holy fuck. It's cool. It's cool stuff right there.
It is a great poster. For sure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't tell you, because you're like, is this Salieri? Is this Mozart? And you're like, who the fuck? Like, what does this poster mean? And then you get 2 hours in and you're like, oh, I see.
Right. I thought it wasn't even involved in the movie. I thought it was supposed to be like a representation, because it like in the poster it has like the helmet thing in like gold, right? And I always like was like, oh, okay, it's because he sort of like reigns over, right? And it's supposed to show off that like it's this like gaudy, and it does have that sort of almost death-like visage with it too.
Totally.
I was like, oh, like maybe like he maybe not worshipped opulence unto death, but he indulged himself unto death. And like totally. I was like, oh, that's so sick. So to see it in the movie, and it's like actually like it's an indictment of like Mozart's entire being, like from his dead father himself. I was like, and like from Mozart's own interpretation of his father, I was like, oh my god, it's so cool, so fucking cool. Oh my god, good stuff, really good stuff.
It's an
seeing
incredible...
Salieri's reaction to that too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine. It's an incredible movie. I think this is a masterpiece. Like I liked it a lot on the first watch, and I think I liked it even more this time. I was, even just the first like 45 minutes, really, I was like grinning from ear to ear. Like I loved it.
Mhm.
Like I
Yeah.
you know, every joke and anticipating the jokes that I knew were coming. I got even more excited. I'm like giggling to myself, waiting for him to do the laugh for the first time. Had you heard that before? Had you heard that in one of your little clips?
I think I had heard his laugh, but like I hadn't really like internalized it as
Yeah,
like,
you
oh,
hadn't,
like
like,
this is just
realized.
this guy's laughter. Yeah. So it definitely did shock me when I first heard him laugh.
And then every time after that, because
and then every time since,
so
yeah.
jarring.
Oh my god, and the very end, Salieri with his
Yeah.
laugh. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah, he's
it's
hearing
so good,
it
so good.
echo in his head. Yeah,
like a
it's great.
jackal almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this it's tough because it's a couple of incredible lead performances. Like they're excellent, and so is the father, and so is the wife. Elizabeth Barrage is the actress's name. Like Constance, she's great, but it's also just like an incredibly well-made movie in addition to the performances. So it like bangs on all sides. Like it looks beautiful. There's some of the like cinematography, like the specific like match cuts where it'll be like a candle being blown out and it'll cut to a person or something like some of those like just really beautiful, like beautifully composed shots that just make this thing just feel so epic, like you said.
Yeah, and it's also the sets too. Like everywhere feels it feels like a
movies don't
piece,
look like this
right?
anymore. It is a period piece, yeah.
Yeah. But it really does whisk you back to, I don't know what years Salieri and Mozart were alive, but
the late 1700s. Yeah,
right around there. And it's like, I don't know, it's so sick. I also really like the Bismarck, the king, whatever his name is, when he's like, oh yeah.
The fuck did you get Bismarck from?
Because it's the name of like a German ruler or something.
I think his name is just like Joseph. I'm pretty sure is the prince, like the emperor's name. Anyway, that guy's not a good actor. Anyway, not
he was okay. He did fine.
No. I meant like he's a terrible person, but we don't need to get into that on this podcast.
Okay, all right, yeah. If I knew, I would dig more into that, but I'm not going to.
It's for the best.
When he like mentions, like just sort of offhandedly, why even my own sister Marie Antoinette, like her people are starting to uprise, and like how she helped pick up Mozart when he was a kid and fell over. Yeah. I don't know. It's really funny, and it adds like the small comments like that add a lot of life, right? And it helps bring like even like the smaller side characters, or like. I mean, I don't know. None of the side characters feel small because they all like they don't feel like they're ever there to like just advance the plot along or advance our characters along. They feel alive and they feel like a part of the world, which is so sweet. It's so awesome.
This movie feels like it has much more of a cast than it does. Like that it has a larger cast than it really does. Like there really only are maybe 10 characters, like real actual characters who show up more than once, but it feels like an epic, like, Game of Thronesian kind of, just because of the, like you're talking about, the kind of rich psychology of the Salieri character and his like machinations. It feels like he's pulling all these crazy levers that are, affecting like dozens of people, but really it's not. It's really just Mozart. It's good. It's cool.
He's just being the top hater. Like that's what's crazy about it.
He's great. Yeah, he's great at it. Yeah.
I love the way, I mean, just think of like how he forced Mozart into like destitution. And then when Mozart comes to him for money, he goes, "You're not living in poverty, are you?" And Mozart goes, "No, but I am broke." Yeah.
Big Ricky line.
Huge
something
Ricky
I could hear
line.
you say.
There were a lot of Mozart lines that I was like, oh yeah, all right, I get this guy. Like I feel him. I also do want to say Constance, probably like she's had the most like wrong done to her of like anyone in the film.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's devastating when she goes to like decides to sleep with him or like whatever with Salieri because she needs the money and she knows that her husband's too proud. And then the way that he like dismisses her and kind of like just like totally mocks her. It's awful. It's maybe the most emotionally like resonant part of the movie until the very end.
And then he like tears apart her husband, like who already like is in tough straits, and sort of like toys with him the whole time. Like it's crazy the mind games he played with him, and like he forced her out of the house essentially, only for her to come back to like find her husband dying, and he's in the house, like oh my god, just a menace.
It's great. Yeah, it really just an not to jerk off so much, but yeah, this movie is very Shakespearean in that way. Like it does have those like big epic, almost melodramatic human emotions. I would say melodramatic, in fact. Thinking about
for sure.
God and theme, the themes in the music. Love gets brought up a bunch of times, and it's funny because this is not a movie with a lot of love in it. No. There's love for music, and there's, I guess,
Mozart does a lot of loving.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah. I mean, I definitely think he loves, Constance, but it is, it's not the main focus of even his own life. I mean, it's not that.
Yeah. So. It, like, shown on his deathbed, the music comes first, right? Like, that's what he was grabbing for. And she's like, no more of this. Like, no.
Another movie about an artist that we just watched. A couple artists, in fact, in this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very big difference from the Bobby Darin biopic. So, biopic. Sorry.
What if Kevin Spacey was in this?
In this movie, who would he play?
He would obviously 100% eat up Salieri like a snack. He would destroy that role. I think he'd actually kind of kill it back in the day.
You know what? I was gonna say I couldn't imagine anyone else as Salieri, but I kind of could imagine him there.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't need to recast this movie. He actually, F. Murray Abraham, right. the man who plays Salieri, he won the Best Actor Oscar for this movie. So
nice, hell yeah.
Yeah. I like him a lot. There's a short horror film that I really like that he's in, but I don't think I've seen him in much else. I'm kind of curious. We did just see Tom Hulce, the man who plays Mozart. He was in Animal House. If you remember, we talked about that on the Animal House episode. So we've got a recurring actor.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he plays the little the one that they call gay. In the very beginning, it's him, and then the fat one, the fat man. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah. Small world, huh? He should have done the laugh in Animal House.
Well, I think, so allegedly he said that he got the laugh from a director that he worked with. So I think it could, like a big director. And I don't think he's really worked with anybody bigger than John Landis from Animal House, from that movie. So maybe John Landis laughs like that, which if he does, devastating. Just like fucking.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
Just cutting his ass down. Fuck? He deserved. Anyway. Do you listen to classical music at all?
Not a ton. No. I used to, but then like it sort of, not that I grew out of it, but like I don't know, I haven't listened to it in a while.
Yeah. That's fair.
I've been listening to like more like not up and coming artists, but just like whatever is in like the popular Spotify lists, and like whatever new music comes out from like whatever random indie artist is popular. So
wow, you're so hip.
Not really. I think that's actually like the far more boring option is to listen to that than to try to just because it's popular. It's easy. It's also it's very easy to in like streaming music era. It's like, oh well, like what the fuck is popular, throw it on the fucking mix,
what do they suggest I should listen to?
Right versus like seeking out music and like downloading it and then holding on to that. Which some people do.
Yeah, I kind of envy those people who can. I'm not an album listener at all. Like I very rarely listen to full albums. Yeah, I'm just single-brained anymore. Like back in the day, like when I was a teenager, I listened to a lot of albums straight through, and I still have my like my staples or like certain artists. I'll always listen to their album all the way through at least once. But like for the most part, I'm a singles person. And then if I like a single a lot, then I might seek out more music from them. Yeah, I have like a really high ratio of like number of artists listened to versus number of songs listened to every year in my Spotify Wrapped.
I there's a few albums that I really enjoy, and like I'll listen to them all the way through. Or it's like the complete opposite, where I mean, there are some times that I'll like find a song that I'm like, oh, I just have to like play this a few times just so I can like get it out of my head.
I am if it's like hitting, like I will absolutely put that song on repeat and be like, okay, this is this is gonna be my soundtrack for the next 2.5 days.
Yeah, I can't do it for days. I'll do it for like a day, right?
Okay.
Where I'll get like really fixated on it. But
I'm built different, but you know.
True, factually. I mean, there are albums that I've been listening to for like years now, where it's like a very specific vibe, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can just throw this on, and like this will set my like pace for an hour or whatever.
Do I remember that you're a hip hop head? I feel like I remember you and Sai talking about hip hop a lot. Yeah, like back in the early days.
Sai started getting into MF Doom when we were first hanging out over at your old place, and I really liked MF Doom as a teen, like that's a lot.
So you guys bonded.
So yeah, because I think he was singing like rap Kanishas, and I was like I had to follow up. So I don't know, it's fun. I think he has some really fun like lyricism, and I really appreciate rap. Man, I keep messing up my vowels today. I really appreciate rap that has like really intense lyricism. It's also why I like Lil Wayne. He's just like funny. I don't know. I think Nicki Minaj is really funny too.
We can't talk about her. I get sad thinking about her as a former Barb. You know.
Wow, but the fall off.
Yeah, the fall off is really tough. So, anyway,
it's tough, yeah. Dude,
but yeah,
speaking of the fall off of Mozart.
Well, the reason I brought it up, I feel like I have. I mean, obviously, there's so many classical songs that people recognize that they don't know the artist to, and myself included. Like, you know, it's really funny, the opening kind of bit where Salieri's playing the songs that he wrote, and then the priest recognizes the Mozart song. It is kind of Are we ending here?
Yeah, I'm done with it. Sorry.
But you know, I have like a couple playlists of classical music or like orchestral stringy kind of stuff, and it's like I still couldn't tell you a Mozart song. I could probably give you a Beethoven's Ode to Joy, but like it just, you know, all of those like guys,
like I feel like you really Four Seasons. There's like a couple that people will like listen to, and like there's a few that you'd be able to say like, oh yeah, I think this is like whatever. So and so, but it's crazy, just the breadth of work that they have, and the thought of them each having like distinctive kind of styles is really funny, because to an untrained ear, a lot of it sounds the same or like, you know, similar. So the thought of it being, I mean, I'm just uncultured when it comes to music in general, but the thought of it being like distinct from each other and there being like stereotypes and jokes that can be made about them is it's just kind of funny and nerdy to think about. It's cool. The like party scene where
that's what comes to mind. Yeah, where he's like, do play it like Bach or whatever. Yeah, and then obviously Salieri.
That's a tough one.
the fact that nobody is like, oh, that's obviously Salieri, like the one asking to play him. So like that's the most obvious thing you could do.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same, it's a masquerade, right? It's a mask ball. Like everybody's mask.
Sure, but he doesn't even like disguise his voice. He's not like play Salieri. Like he's like.
Right, but I mean, when he visits him as the masked man, because I assume that was Salieri, right?
Yeah,
like Mozart doesn't recognize his voice there either.
Yeah, well, maybe Mozart's just a fucking idiot. That's always a possibility. He has a great ear, except for voices. Yeah, probably. No, that's Beethoven.
That's Beethoven, right? I was trying to think about that because, like, I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, I don't see the deaf thing coming into play here at all. And then, like,
now I do want to. You understand that this movie is totally fictional, right? Like, you know that none of this actually
Oh,
happened.
none of it happened at all?
Like,
Man.
basically none of it, yeah. Like, they knew each other vaguely, and Salieri was, like, married with a kid. Like, he wasn't, like, some tortured
Did Salieri write his Requiem for Mozart?
No, I don't think so. No.
Fuck, bro!
Yeah.
That makes me so angry! That makes me so pissed off and mad!
I know.
What the heck?
I'm sorry. Oh, God. I wondered if you would know going in or not.
No, and I didn't look it up because I wanted to see if you would mention it, but
yeah, no, I don't think any of this was real, other than like the general, very generic like plays he wrote and or operas he wrote and his appointment to the emperor and so on. So
I assumed most of it was fake, but I was like, oh, maybe Salieri wrote like in his will that like he always felt like rival to Mozart and like. I thought the Requiem thing was real, and I kind of thought that he did like try to drive him out of the courts and try to drive him to death too, because he was afraid of losing his court position.
No, I don't.
Which
I think he just drank himself to death. No,
damn.
From what I read, when I watched this movie the first time, it's just based on like an old play that someone cooked up like after Salieri died, like a few decades later. Someone was like, what if I just wrote a soap opera?
What if I just slandered the names of all of these artists?
Yeah. Going back to the way this movie looks, I can't remember the last movie I saw that had real fire in it from like a recent movie. I'm trying to remember I think The Fall Guy, which I just saw in theaters a couple weeks ago, I think that movie has fire, but it's so not common to see, especially if it's not like an actiony big blockbuster-y deal, like something like this. Like, it looks so good. This movie looks so fucking good and rich, and like you just want to like slow the camera down and pause and like look at everything, especially the opera scenes, but the whole movie just looks like that. So
even the like the dark scenes, I'm kind of putting quotes around that because they don't feel like super dark. You can still see like the extents of the room, and although you can tell like, oh, it's like illuminated by candlelight, it doesn't have that same like murkiness, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's a very clear image, and like the candlelight is used to help focus and help like reveal different parts of the scene instead of just being a like, I don't know. I hate the lighting of like movies. A lot of movies, especially like more recent movies. So like seeing a well-lit movie like this, it's great.
We'll have to watch Barry Lyndon sometime. This movie was totally filmed with like natural light and like candlelight. Like there was no artificial rigging or anything, which is crazy to think about.
None at all?
Not that I read. Now, granted, I read this on again the Wikipedia page, but apparently,
hey, good enough for me.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So
that's crazy. Yeah.
Barry Lyndon.
That's an amazing feat.
Also, like that. Barry Lyndon's a movie you would like too. It's kind of like the anti-Amadeus in a way, but like in a good way.
Okay. So speaking of Amadeus, just the name Amadeus, the word Amadeus. Really cool name. I like Wolfie as a little nickname though.
Wolfie's cute.
That's so cute.
That's a cute one.
Yeah. But no, Amadeus. So there've been a bunch of Twitter threads lately around this one Simpsons scene. The play of like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, or just like Planet of the Apes, the play, right? Have you seen this?
The movie? You mean the movie Planet of the Apes?
They did a play version of it in The Simpsons.
Okay, no,
and there's like a minute
this.
and a half long scene. No,
I am judging you so hard, right? I know you can tell, but I'm like staring a hole through my laptop right now.
No, I know. I'm watching you do that. So it's an okay scene. It's kind of funny.
I just want you to know you're bringing up a Twitter thread about a show about a parody of a movie that is not this movie. Like, your level's deep, bro. Like,
yeah, I know. So a bunch of people were saying that, like, they were like, I need context in order to be able to appreciate this clip. Thank you, Lade. But part of that context, people mentioned Amadeus, because they were like, it's the only way you'll get the Dr. Zaius jokes, right? in a part of it, they sing sort of like West Side Story, like they go, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, and they do that several times. That never happened in this movie.
No, they're definitely. I think someone was pulling your leg because there's a song called "Rock Me Amadeus" from around this time from the 80s. It sounds like that. I guess now we have an ending for this podcast for real this time. Of all the good music I could end this. Yeah,
let's put some bad music up.
Yeah. I'm looking up to see what year that song is from. But that is what
that's crazy.
I'm guessing.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I think the scene is funny, even if you don't understand the references, if you haven't seen the movie. Like, I'd seen the movie, The Planet of the Apes, so, like, I thought the jokes were, like, kind of funny, and the way that they sort of ruin the plot is also pretty funny, versus, like, this, like, that in particular, I always thought was a riff off of something, but I never knew what that something was, and, like, somebody mentioned, like, oh, it's from Amadeus. So I was like, oh, like, I can't wait to find it in this movie, because I was, like, as soon as, once I was, like, half an hour in, I was like, this is going to be really hokey if they put it in here. Right, I was like, they're not gonna, they can't do that shit, right?
Yeah. 1985 apparently was, it was inspired by this movie, so, yeah. Wow. But anyway, that's really funny.
Yeah, good to know. Yeah, so not directly related to the movie, but, I don't know.
No. But if you have any other Twitter threads you want to reference, you want to pull them out right now and start looking through your likes?
No, that was it. Those are like the main ones that I wanted to talk about.
Well, maybe if you... Never mind. I won't air you out. I won't do it.
That's crazy.
I just said I wouldn't do it. You want me to?
I'm gonna punch you in the... No, I'd punch you in the top of the head if you did.
Go look up Ricky's Twitter if you haven't.
No!
So, I mean, it's really hard to talk about this movie because it's one of those ones that's just too good.
It is a very experiential movie, yeah.
It is, yeah. Like, if for some reason you're watching this, I don't think we've actually really spoiled the ending. The ending is, like, transcendent, like the last 15 minutes, but if you're listening to this, go watch that movie if you haven't seen it yet. It's incredible. Even if you've seen it before, but it's been a while, you should go watch it again. It's worth your 3 hours. Maybe the best 100%. Movie we've covered so far? I'm looking at my list.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the most enjoyable, I think.
Oh, I don't know if this one might go toe-to-toe with you, Jimbo. Oh, definitely one of the best long movies we've watched.
I love Yojimbo, and, like, I can appreciate, like, how well it's made and how good of a movie it is. This movie was just really fun. Like,
yeah,
I felt energized after watching this movie.
Oh, totally.
Just like, and it doesn't feel like 3 hours, right? Like, I could go and watch this in a theater and, like, walk out and be like, this could be Sunday matinee, you know? Go in at 8 a.m., watch this shit, come out at 11. Full fucking day ahead of me. And I'd feel good about it.
Yeah, it's that good. It really is that good. It won Best Picture. Yeah. It's funny that it's not really that well or much talked about, I guess, in, like, the context of the Oscars, because it is an extremely well awarded movie. Now I'm looking at the list of 80s Oscar winners, because I feel like other movies from the Oscars kind of get more attention, like Platoon, Rain Man, Driving Miss Daisy. Like, I feel like those are commonly talked about. Maybe some of these other ones not so much, but yeah. Anyway, so it's just funny that it's kind of not forgotten, but a little forgotten, maybe. Yeah, outside of, like, cinephile circles.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm, like, particularly happy having found it, right?
Yeah.
Which I know I probably would have watched it per your recommendations eventually, right?
Yeah, eventually I would have gotten there.
Right. But it's really cool to be able to just, like, be a part of, like, random circles and, like, find cool stuff. I don't know. I love, like, sort of communities like that. And I feel like the cinephile community especially can be sort of, like, polarizing, I guess, to be a part of.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't claim that title, honestly, but
yeah. I'm not aspiring to either. But yeah, this
you're
this
an
movie
aspiring film bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Not cinephile.
What do you think about him calling himself the patron saint of mediocrity?
Of mediocrity?
Yeah.
So good. It's sick. It's awesome. He acknowledges
so?
it. Like, yeah. Because he rages against this unfair god the entire movie, you know? And he is, like... I mean, obviously he's very gifted, and, like, maybe he...
But he's kind of not, actually. Like, he's kind of just, like, fine. That's the whole
right,
point,
well, that's what
right?
he says.
Like...
That's what he acknowledges,
yeah.
right? But at the same time, I mean, the people of his time appreciated him, right?
Yeah,
obviously
but not...
appreciated him more than his rival, who he knows
but
has
that doesn't make him
divine
not
spark within him.
That does not make him not mediocre, right? I mean,
I know,
Imagine
and he knows it
Dragons
too.
is also well acclaimed right now, or like well regarded.
Right. I mean, he knows that too. He's cursed with the knowledge of it.
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. There's a lot to chew on with him.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it is like it's the curse of the, like
the hater, the curse of being
the curse of the hater. I was gonna say the curse of the like gifted kid, right? Like the former gifted
God.
kid. The curse of the burned out gifted kid. Just because like it is one of those like I mean, I'm not sure, like, I'm not going to say, oh, he was promised, like, a great many things, yada, yada, whatever. But, like, at the point in his life where he met Mozart, a true genius, he was definitely, like, at that point in his life where he was like, well, I'm well established, I am, like, a professional in my field, like, well regarded.
Yeah, he says he likes himself. Like, he says that when he's doing his
right. Yeah, oh,
narration.
yeah. Or he liked himself before
yeah.
So, yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy how that can, like, meeting one person can just, like, destroy your worldview, right?
Do you think having a rival's fun? I've never had a direct rival like that. Do you feel like
it's... well, no, that's not true.
It seems bad. It seems like it's been...
Yeah.
Oh, you've had a rival?
I have had a rival a few times in school. So I'd say my first rival was in, like 3rd through 5th grade.
Okay, we're not talking about fucking school, right? I mean, like, as an adult. Like, that doesn't count if you're in school and you're like,
but that's what I'm saying.
Their times tables better, like...
Right. But that's the easiest way to, like, garner rivals, right? Especially, so we would compete in, like, math and shit, but also, like, musically. And we would just fight over who got first chair in orchestra, so...
What did you play?
Cello.
Anyway, moving on.
There were only like 5 or... I think there were 6 of us in 5th grade, but yeah.
Anyway. So you don't have
real shit.
You don't
but
have
no,
a rival
I don't think I have
nowadays.
a rival having grown up. No, and you know what? I kind of despise the idea of people who resemble me too much, right?
I know you do. I've heard this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because every time I'm like, this guy in this bar looks like you, you're like, fuck that guy. I hate that guy.
Bro, because he doesn't. He's just a short guy with like long brown hair and glasses. That's it.
Well, you're gonna dox yourself, bro.
Bro, we have given me descriptions and gotten more and more Eldritchian with them as time has gone on.
I'm not gonna say anything else. Eldritchian.
What?
Hey,
you didn't say anything to begin with.
If you like the idea of an unknowable god with tentacles coming out of his mouth.
What?
That's what eldritch horror. That's like the whole.
Yeah.
I'm going for a Cthulhu thing. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm taking it to the next. Way to
Going
ruin
Davy
the joke.
Jones with it. Right, my bad. You haven't even seen the movies. You haven't seen Pirates of the Caribbean, have you?
Okay, first off, Davy Jones existed
You haven't
before
seen
fucking
those
Pirates
movies,
of the Caribbean. That's...
Yeah, okay, he does exist in more than this, but...
Ladies, if you love a man in a tricorn hat...
Ladies, if you love a boy that can break it down with a feather in his cap, call him that shit macaroni, hit me up.
All right.
I'm
gonna hate listening to that later. Fuck. You don't want a rival. But a rival doesn't have to look like
neither
you.
Neither do you. Right? No, I get that. But like, neither do you.
I don't need a rival. The rivals find me.
Wow.
I'm just by nature of being a hater.
I don't even get haters. Is the thing. You're my biggest hater. You're my only hater, honestly.
I'm not a hater.
Everyone else loves me.
I don't hate
right?
you.
Everyone else
I
thinks
do.
I love
you too.
A beautiful little baby boy. Right?
Okay, I would never say that, but like...
I'm just a little birthday boy. Come on.
Your birthday was literally 4 months ago.
Hey, doxing. You want to talk about doxing? Jesus. This is crazy.
I'm not a hater for you. I mean, I clown on you. It's different. It's different. You know, if I was a hater, you would know it. You've seen me hate on people. You know. You know what it looks like. Yeah. I don't know, but having a professional rival sounds a little fun. Like a little, like other than the psychological downfall of it all. It does sound. It seems like it'd be good in a nice professional friendly rivalry kind of way, and not a this man's praying for my death. This man's praying for my wife's titties. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had coworkers that I wouldn't call us rivals though, because like we're all kind of doing the same thing, trying to get the same thing done, like willing to swap off and do different tasks for each other if we have to. I don't know. I wouldn't call it rivalry. Maybe there are people that have seen themselves as my rival, but I would never call them that.
It's fair.
Do you have any work rivals, or like, do you mean like personal rivals?
I don't think I've had. I mean, I've had haters, but I like at work. But no, because I'm the only person who has the very specific set of skills that I have at my job. I'm the only person that has
swag.
I'm the only person who knows how it works, and I will bleep that. So they need me. I probably have more job security than almost anybody else at my job because of that. So
it's pretty sweet.
Shout out any coworkers that are listening to this. So no, I feel like I don't have any rivals.
Shout out job security. Oh,
we're
shouting out. Shout out Asher, who messaged me at the beginning of this podcast.
Oh yeah. Oh, because shout out Asher, who I just had lunch and saw a movie with, and she was like, "By the way, do you think it'd be okay if I DM'd Ricky?" I was like, "Ricky's not a celebrity. Like, you can just DM him."
Very, very far from it. Okay, yeah.
Well, because before she was like, and I'm airing her out.
Oh my God, he's got 30 podcast listeners.
Ricky is twirling his hair. Are you wearing a shirt, bro? What are you doing?
No, I'm not. Did you just notice that?
Yeah, because you've got like your shawl on.
I've got a jacket on. Yeah, I know.
Anyway, but no, she was like a couple months ago. I mentioned that you were coming to Bleep to go see Fleet Foxes, and she was like, "Do you think it would be okay if I met him?" I'm like, "Yeah, like it's my friend.
Is the Secret Service going to let me?" Like...
Yeah. I was like, "Let me check with his secretary, like, and see if his schedule's free. Like, I'm sure it's fine." Yeah. Anyway, so. But yeah, shout out Asher, who now sees that Ricky's a reply guy on Twitter.
True. Bleep that.
Not a chance. You deserve to be aired out.
No, fair. Yeah, I don't know. For how long this movie is and how, like, straight up outstanding it is, I don't know what the fuck to say about it, you know?
Yeah, it's like, it's just really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it moves. It's so interestingly edited. The psychology of the characters is gripping. This is more of a character study than like feels like anything else we've really watched.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so complex. I don't think I've seen like a more complex character in like anything.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know. I mean, maybe not in anything, but in like in any movie for sure, right? I think Walt's character was really complex in Breaking Bad, but his
a whole
was
movie
like
or a whole TV show.
A whole TV show. It's a lot of time, and his was more of a character arc, and we get to see him change a bit during the series versus like just a character study and seeing like the same guy, same motivations throughout pretty much the whole movie. Like they're complex, but they're very like focused, which is cool.
I guess Naked and Power of the Dog both have very complex characters, just looking at what we've watched together. And I think those movies, part of what makes them so interesting is that we don't get a lot of insight into, like, direct insight into how they're feeling. We just kind of see their behaviors and try to piece together their psychology that way. Whereas Salieri's just laying it all out on the table. He's like, I'm a hater. Fuck that guy. Fuck my girlfriend. Like, you know, like all of it. So God loves him. Like,
he's God's special little boy. I fucking hate his guts.
He's a special birthday boy.
I'm not gonna punch a boy on his birthday.
So I can see where you're coming from. This is definitely the most interesting kind of in-depth character psychology that we've seen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
A couple other things just that I feel like are fun to shout out. When he's like talking in the very beginning before we even meet Mozart, when Salieri's describing his childhood, and then he's like, and a miracle happened. And it cuts to his dad dying at dinner. So fucking funny. Like, the tone is so... You're like... Because that's kind of maybe the first really funny, like, dark humor scene in the movie. Like, there's a couple funny bits at the beginning when the, like, orderlies are dealing with him and when he's joking with the priest. But that part is, like, very ironic, very, like, kind of, like, daring, and of a different tone than you would expect from this movie. And I think it does a good job of setting all of the other humor up, like all of the like dirty jokes and like irony and kind of mockery of certain things at the time that come later. So
100%. It lets you know where the director's at and kind of where you should be at as a watcher, right? Like the movie wouldn't be the same without it. And you know what? Like it's a note that you couldn't remove. I'm going to keep using that same one. I know.
I hope you use it for like the next 100 movies. The other thing, I think the fits, we should talk about like the fits and the wigs. They look great. Everybody looks fucking awesome. I mean, Mozart, I don't think that actor is particularly good looking. Yeah, but like he's kind of killing it in this. It's
right? Like
I would probably, anyway, but like... I mean...
Getting the vapors over here, you know?
Yeah. And the way, I mean, it's kind of like silly, but the way the wigs kind of are used to express what kind of mindset he's in, or like where his life is at. Like he's got the fun, playful wigs in the beginning, and then when he's doing Don Giovanni, after his father's died, he's got like no wig on. He's just got like his dark hair. Yeah, it's good. It's cool.
Bold too, and it's like frizzed out when he's doing it.
Yeah, he looks insane. Yeah. But then of course the outfits, they look really, really good. Like the costumes are incredible for this movie. You don't see shit like that. Like, do you watch Bridgerton? Have you ever watched that show?
No, but I've heard people say that it's a really good period piece because it's a bunch of people in like ball gowns, right?
Sure. Yeah.
What, am I wrong? Yeah. Okay.
No, just, I mean, that there's more to a period piece, of course, than that. But yeah, it's like the 1800s, I think. I think it's a little bit more recent than this this movie. I think Bridgerton is more like Pride and Prejudice era.
Right.
But I was just curious because, I mean, people say they really like that show. It's got a lot of acclaim. I don't know. It's a TV show, so I'll never watch it, but...
Fair. I know people that like Downtown Abbey or Downton Abbey. No, it's not Downtown. Lane's laughing now, and like now I don't know whether it's one or the other.
It's Downton.
Downton, right? I got it right the second time. You know, come on.
Just Downtown Abbey is just funny. Downtown Abbey Road, my favorite Beatles record.
Listen, a .5 batting average would go insane in the NBA. That's all I'm gonna say, right? Like
the NBA? Did you say?
Oh, fuck. Or like, the National Baseball Association. No.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, what acronym do they use? Baseball.
MLB.
Yeah. Right, Major League Baseball. Yeah.
You never seen Major League with never mind. Anyway.
Is that a movie too?
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on.
Fuck, bro. All right.
There's so many of them.
Yeah. What the hell? We just watched one. It's like another comes out. They gotta stop them for a little bit or something. I want to catch up.
Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie? Should we talk about the soundtrack? Good music. Like 8 out of 10.
Yeah, good music. Yeah,
it does sound really good. It does sound.
It's
really
great. Good. It sounds excellent. great sound mixing. Everyone's voice is very like well heard, listenable, clear, legible. Don't know.
Well,
how I'm trying to describe it, but
audible. I think is
audible.
The word
Yeah.
Going for.
Speaking of Audible, try your $15 subscription now.
15
using our link.
That's kind of steep.
I don't know how much Audible costs. I'll be
honest.
Go to
audible.com/watch. Like what would our podcast code be?
It would just be www.
That would confuse people.
Go
to www.audible.com/www. I like That's the good. Way that as a music anti-connoisseur, as a peasant. Thank you. I like the way that Salieri describes the music, even when it is or isn't playing. Hearing the way, not just because it's cool to hear how it impacts him, but just hearing the way that he describes it, and especially the ending scene of the two of them in bed. They're not in bed, but the two of them when Mozart's in bed.
Yeah.
Hearing them kind of converse and talk about the music outside of, just the raw, like, technical aspects of it, but just kind of describing the emotion there. I think that's really cool, just to hear kind of an expert's take on what that music means and, like, how it sounds. Because, like I said, to an untrained ear, a lot of that stuff kind of sounds the same if you're not, like, experienced or have, like, a strong background in it. So hearing that, like, put to language is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think you said, like, transcendental earlier when we mentioned the scene. Or just transcendent. The scene truly is. It's transcendent. Like, no words. And especially as, like, the capstone, the cornerstone of the movie, right? Like, oh, just excellent. With all the emotion behind it, too. Like,
and it's just like them talking to each other. Like there's nothing happens. You know what I mean? It's really it's very powerful to see that kind of like not meeting of the minds, but just the way that they finally interact and start to get each other, or that he kind of gets just this like tiny glimpse into the way Mozart's brain works, and it's like almost like it's too much for him. Like it's almost like just gonna
he keeps telling him to like slow down.
Slow down. Yeah. So.
It feels like a wise man or king like dictating out his last will and like trying to like make you see that last breakthrough, and like Salieri just like frantically trying to keep up, and he's like no like with the tenors like at what time like he's like and like he's trying to formulate it in his own mind so that he can hear the music, and he's touching upon the divine the entire time. It's just so really, really excellent, really good stuff. Just great.
Nice, good ass movie.
100%. I mean, I'd say this is a 5 for me personally.
Totally, 100%. Fuck Christopher for saying he's like 3.5 stars. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
What?
Yeah, isn't he insane? Yeah. This is a podcast where we air people out.
This is we want to air out.
That is the most just deranged thing for somebody to say. Like he gives 5 stars like Jurassic Park. I'm like, okay, that's fair, but there is also room in the 5-star landscape for Amadeus. Anyway.
Life finds a way. So anyway.
Do
you have a movie picked for next week's Lane Frame?
I'm
okay. I thought you were like waiting for a transition to say that.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we can start talking about it, but I don't have anything because I'm falling into the like. No. Well, I don't have anything else to say about Amadeus. Give me like a direction, like a genre or something that you like or want to watch, and I will find a movie for us.
I don't know. I really like this one. What about the movie that you mentioned earlier that you thought I would like?
We need to put some space between this and Barry Lyndon. Lyndon. Okay. Yeah, we need to put some space between those two.
Okay. Is it the same director?
No.
Okay.
It's just similar-ish kind of like not characters. There's just some similarities. Sort of. It's like an anti-Amadeus. It's like long and funny, but in a very dry way. It's a Kubrick movie. Anyway, it's good. It's really good. Don't get me wrong. It's just
I feel like I like long, funny, dry movies, Paulus. I don't know.
I also like them. I think it's a great movie. It's just, again, I think we should put some space between this. Like, they're a little bit too similar in like setting, I guess, or they're not really like it's not about Mozart or anything. It just they have similar period piece vibes, I guess.
Very.
I think
enigmatic.
they would.
It would just like clash our ideas.
Not
of,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
One would
Like I
believe
think
the other.
Yes, yeah. I think you could. Yeah, the comparison would be a little too direct, I guess. I don't think we would have too many. Yeah. Anyway, so
right, we can get a stronger tonal shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe an action film.
Oh Christ Almighty!
All right. Well, Lade's over here like I'm pitching fucking curveballs.
You're fine. You're fine. Okay, like a serious action movie or like a kind of fun action movie.
Ooh, I'll leave that up to you. I kind of want something a little bit more on the serious side. I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm vamp for me for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Or I can cut dead air if you want. Either one, I guess.
I don't know. I got Archie up here now, so Amadeus. Yeah, I don't know. That Simpsons bit, it's just okay. So like, it feels like half the people that I was reading about were like, "Oh, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard." Yada yada. The jokes hold up so well. Old Simpsons is the best. New Simpsons suck. And then the other half is people going, "This was never funny, actually, and things are never funny ever. This wasn't funny in context. It's not funny out of context, and not knowing the context makes me hate all of you."
Okay.
So, I love discourse.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you rather watch a war movie or a action war against drugs movie?
Ooh, action war against drugs.
War against drugs. Okay. This next week, I want to watch Sicario from 2015, directed by our guy Denis Villeneuve, who we've talked about quite a few times actually on this podcast, Mr. Toon himself. I don't know really anything about this movie other than that it has a huge cast of very famous people. People really like this movie. It's supposed to be really good. That's about all I got. It's about like the war on drugs, Mexico border agents, I think, like FBI agents. So yeah, it's supposed to be really good. It's on Amazon Prime and YouTube to rent or buy.
Sweet, awesome. I've heard of Sicario before, and yeah, can't wait.
Cool. Yeah, it's like I said, it's supposed to be really, really good. So who knows?
Yeah, yeah. That's all I've heard of it, is that it's like a great movie. I mean, I need to watch it, and they don't want to spoil anything. So
it's funny because I definitely feel like I've heard people spoil things about this movie, or like I've heard about like plot points. Like I have the feeling I have, but I definitely don't remember anything about it. So
right.
Yeah.
Those are kind of good to go into like that, though, right? Like I like going into a movie where it's like, oh, like I've heard a lot about it, but I don't remember anything specific.
But none of it sticks. Yeah.
Nothing
cool.
stickeros. All right.
That's cool. No. Keep going. You got more in the can there? You want to pull out?
No, Lane, just kill me, bro. Like honestly, at this way.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And then there's like a higher part which I can't do. So